Aye. Okay, should we get started?
Sure.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, further agenda. So moved.
Second.
Here we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Public input.
I do. You will pass those down, please. One is a FOIA, one is a complaint. I do have some questions. One thing, comp time, I see that's scheduled. Still doesn't apply. Chip seal. How many square yards did you, with road guy, was that 20,000?
Yes.
Okay, I noticed in there, a thing to road guy, if you changed that, you did it substantially, and you need to re-let it for bid. How many applicants are for the executive session? How many applicants are custodial?
It depends on the decision that the council makes.
Okay,
I don't know if I need clarification on that motion.
okay, what about groundskeeper? How many applicants?
I did not know if you had had any more come in.
I haven't had any more.
I gave one application out today. It'll be back tomorrow, but
So that's not gonna be worked on tonight?
like I said, I did not know. I put it on the agenda just because.
Okay, summer reading assistant, how many applicants for that one?
It's already been decided and the council just needs to approve.
Okay,
The library
One.
committee does that, the library board.
okay.
Dee has made her selection.
And groundskeeper, that was possibly 2?
Yes.
And custodians up in the air. Okay, like I said, on the road guy, that proposal, that probably needs to be bid out in the bid process. If you didn't, you're in violation of the bid processing.
Was this given to us or was it solicited by us? Or did he just put this out?
This isn't, that isn't
No,
our
that's not.
street sealing.
No,
Right,
that's a
Yeah.
new
Is this
process.
This is this,
It's a new process.
I got it, but did he give this to us or did we ask him for this?
I asked him for that.
Okay, gotcha. And so,
We're talking about from last year.
yeah, that's.
Two issues.
Last year's bid is a contract extension. We've already researched that and it's legal, so
Yeah.
we're not in violation of any bid laws.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
But on the new bid, on the new proposal,
We haven't solicited bids.
No,
We
we
haven't
haven't gotten that far.
proposal
Haven't done
for
that.
anything
Pat
at
just
all.
got done saying that she asked for it.
She can ask for a price quote. That's different than soliciting the
This is not a
contract
chip
bid.
sealing process that I asked for.
Usually the bid letting deals with dollars, not, whether it's chip seal or whether it's fog lines or whatever.
We haven't done the new chip seal thing for this year yet. We did one for last year, but we.
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
done
I'm
it
well
this
aware of that, I'm caught up with that. But
Right.
when I see another thing from road guy and I don't see any other documents from people, I start to wonder and question.
It'll make more sense after we talk about it.
It's new
You'll get
information.
clarification then.
Any other public input?
I didn't get the FOIA request.
I think it's still going around, isn't it? Or- Oh, no.
Okay,
Are those the 2 documents right there? Or did you give her your copy?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
okay, well, number
You look
5.
at it.
Are you ready for number 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Um,
Candidates vote for mayoral position. Motion to clarify the vote count for the mayor position and declare the winner.
So, because it is for the mayor, I gave it to Dan to unlock the ballot box. How the election went was, initially I handed the election committee 225 blank ballots, which they recounted, and we had 25 absentee ballots for a total of 250. As the election went on, and we were getting down there in the number of available ballots yet, we did add 50 more. So, complete citywide ballots was 275, still kept 25 for the absentees, for a total of 300 ballots. After the election was completed, the tallies were that Mike Buckholz received 104, Tom Glass received 144. There was 52 either spoiled or blank ballots, and that totaled 300. And that was confirmed by the election committee. So when you open up the ballot box, the poll,
So what's this envelope, the manila envelopes on top here?
there was some concern on how the procedure was done for the ballot, for the absentee ballots, and I did not destroy these for that reason. The absentee ballot process is people filled out an application to let us know that they would not be in here in person. And once I received that application along with a copy of their driver's license, then I mailed out in a large envelope that was bigger than this one, a blank ballot and these two envelopes. When the person received it then, they filled out, I of course addressed it to Marge, who was our election committee chairperson. But the absentee person then made their ballot and put it in this envelope and sealed it. And then they put the sealed envelope inside this envelope, which they have to sign, and then they mailed it. And they came to our office, as mail does, and we kept them in an envelope till the night before the election. The night before the election, I put all the sealed, and essentially you could say doubly sealed, absentee ballots in a sealed envelope, along with another envelope that contained all the sealed blank ballots. And the morning of the election committee counted all the blank ballots to verify my numbers. And then at 3 o'clock, they opened up these. So at no time did I open these. These were all opened by the election committee.
Excellent.
There were 3 that were done not through the mail. They were done through a messenger process. Actually 4. And you can do a messenger process. This was for people who are in the nursing home who maybe through a disability or age are not able to attend the election. Wanda did 3 of those. The only difference there is they're not mailed in. But,
So they just come in waiting,
nope, they still come in both,
no stamp on it?
no stamp.
No.
And then Carolyn Hanslow was the last one.
Did the election workers count out the 50 additional ballots too?
Yes, yes. So when you open that, you will have all of our paperwork in there. Basically what the canvassing is tonight though is to verify the tally of our numbers. The back of the poll book will have those in there. And then also if you want to, you can cross-reference the poll book, this book, which I got from the county, with the poll book that they filled out on the day of the election. And you will see the absentee votes are indicated with an A after their name. So that's how you know. that
How many
was-
total absentee ballots were there?
25,
No, there were 25.
yes. And the night of the election, we were 1 short, and it's because this arrived the next day, and this person is in the military overseas. So it did not get here in time, and I did indicate that it was received on the 11th. I did not get it the night of the election.
So that's completely sealed right now.
Still completely sealed, never
Yeah.
opened it.
Okay.
So that's what you will find in there. So if you want to open and confirm,
What is this?
This cover.
I don't know how this is gonna work. There it is. Well, this is the book that evidently they use when somebody comes in, and then of course it's alphabetized. So it just has, signature number 211 was this individual, signature number 122 was this individual. So if we counted these, we would have the exact number of people that voted, I assume, on the day. Or if we just look for the largest number there. Oh, sorry. Good heavens, let's not break that glass thing. Okay. Okay. 16 absentee ballots there, 13 unstamped, 25 unstamped, unused. Absentee ballots received.
and that's the poll book. And in the back of that yellow book is the tally.
Okay, that makes sense now. Okay, so,
Is there anything else in there, Dan?
I don't believe there's anything else in here.
You wanna show our person of interest that there's nothing else in there?
Absolutely nothing else in the box. So. That should have, on the very last line, a number, and that's 248. So 248 people are in the poll book. No blanks that you can see.
I don't even wanna touch it.
These are just two documents that say statement by person registering without a driver's license or social security number. I, person, under oath declare that I do not have a valid South Dakota driver's license and that I have not been issued a social security number. Because I do not have a South Dakota driver's license or social security number, my voter registration form is blank in the spot requiring such number. Signed, person, sworn to me this 9th day of April, 2019. And they're two different individuals. So I wonder, I'm assuming those individuals though are in that poll book with two names. These must just be all samples,
Yeah, the yellow ones,
yeah?
yep, those are sample ballots.
Those are somewhat irrelevant. Here are two bundles. It appears as if that one is for Mayor Glass and the other bundle is for Michael Buckles. So I assume this is part of the job tonight, and that would be to count each of these and verify that those numbers are correct.
Actually, you don't have to count the ballots.
You don't?
That is not part of the canvassing.
Okay,
I mean, you certainly could if you wanted to, but it's not necessary.
what is this? Oh, the absentee ballots must have been different size than.
Correct,
Okay,
they were
so
not
that-
cut.
that's what these are.
Yep, it's on the back of this one.
Okay.
I spelled my name wrong. Do I need to call the state?
Okay, so
They put
there,
an E on the end? Oh.
there those are. Here are the absentee ballots that were received in the office. So what is that? Oh,
Oh, their driver's license.
copy of the driver's license and
That's the application they fill out.
and that information was sent back in the large envelope with their ballot, and that was inside that other set of envelopes. I got it. Okay, so that's just,
It's actually a two-step process. The first step is they bring me the application, or I receive the application in the mail. I do not mail it back out again.
so if we have 248, right?
Those, the number wise. 12 envelopes. 12 up,
73.
yeah.
So we got 273 accounted for with those. There are 13 unstamped, which just look like pieces of paper. So that makes it 286. Um, Absentee ballots. Those are not actually,
16 absentee?
that's what it says, 16 absentee
They're blank.
ballots.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're not completed.
Okay, and how many were absentee again?
I
20.
mailed out,
25 were mailed, right?
But how
no,
many-
I mailed out 9.
Oh, and 9 and
I mailed
16
out-
make 25.
Right. I mailed out 9,
Because you
and
said the ones with the A behind are the absentee here,
that is correct.
so there's 12.
But you did say that
But there's
3,
12 in that pile.
There's
Oh,
12.
Okay, so there's
One
12 in here and 12 here. There's
Yes,
12 in
and
the
then
book.
Karen,
Okay,
And those are 12.
the
that
last one
match-
that came in the mail.
okay,
That match that other pile of applications was 12.
okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
these are just 16.
How many absentee ballots were counted? 25?
That's how many
Starting
were
with 25.
created, right?
Yes,
You started with 25.
correct.
You don't know how many were counted.
11,
There's,
actually 12 were counted absentee.
and that's what that other, they're all 12.
So there's 10 of these, but there's 12 of those?
There was 12 in
How many do you count?
Only 10 right now. 10, and then this one.
Oh, okay. Because that was the break, alright.
But it still doesn't give us 12.
That's,
No.
yeah, there's only 11.
If we only got 10 envelopes that are open,
10.
and you got 12 ballots that were
There's-
counted,
There's 12 in the book that say A behind it.
where did the other 2 come from? Now, you did say there were 3 or 4 that were,
Messenger,
yeah. Are
Would
those
they
considered
be-
absentee?
Would
Yeah,
they be
considered
absentee?
yep,
Yeah.
they're still absentee.
Then, really technically speaking, there were 14 absentee ballots. 10 plus the 4
4.
messengers.
I only count 11 absentees in here.
There should, yeah, I mailed out 9. I shouldn't say I mailed out 9, I handed, because the one absentee came in and picked up her own, the messenger picked up her own.
Account 11. Okay. 'Cause that was
Look in
crossed out.
that. Is that too local to applications?
8, 10, 11, yeah. I counted that one because there was an A there, but that's not,
Crossed out.
okay.
The two bundles on the backs of the two big bundles of ballots.
Right here.
On the backs of those, folded, are the absentee ballots.
Yeah.
How many of them are there? Well, we only gotta count to 12, it'll only take a minute,
Okay.
so.
Such as this?
Exactly.
Yes.
You can compare them to the name.
Okay, I have 7 in that pile.
Okay. That's what I counted. Looks like 4, 7, 4, or 11.
11,
But
that's-
then you had one,
Well, that
That's
other
what's
one's
in there.
irrelevant, because it
There
didn't get
was-
counted, so,
Yeah,
so
So that's
11
right.
and 11, that's exactly what we should have.
We're not supposed to count these or
No, you don't have to.
prefer not to?
Yeah.
yeah.
There. Is that counting?
Yeah.
What the election committee does at the end of an election is they have one person who calls out whether it was buckles or glass. 2 people tally. And then they count. And that same tally is in the poll book in the back.
And that's why I asked what the last number was in the poll book, because it's 248. If you take 144 and you take 104 and you add those together, you get 248. So that number is exactly the right number of votes.
Somebody else were to count those, I only had 247.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's one on one page. I thought I missed, but apparently it didn't.
Yeah, well, yeah, we watch Faith. Yeah. You going too?
This is 7.
Yeah, I gotta pick up Betsy and. Sure.
Thank you, sir.
You see you again.
All right, have a good night.
So if it's Crossed out, it's a no. They didn't come.
I didn't count that one. There was another 152 right above it.
This one yours? It must be because I got one over here.
Teresa. Oh, go ahead, keep going.
Didn't pay attention. How many ballots were left over?
Should be 52.
Dreesen?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's.
They are in there? Okay. Vicki, regarding your FOIA request, I don't get the canceled checks back.
Well, you can access them.
So you want the little miniatures on the bank statement?
That will work.
Won't have an endorsement on it.
No, it won't. I don't have the back.
I don't need the endorsement.
I also got 247.
Interesting.
Do you wanna try?
So then, where's the poll book?
And that's it?
No.
No, the
No,
poll
poll
book is the
Oh,
other
oh,
one.
okay.
We have one that That's why I
How
question
many
on
you
that
count?
one name, because they don't live in
How
town.
many did you count?
247?
That's what you
Okay,
counted.
so,
Twice.
just for the sake of argument, we'll just verify that there isn't a blank spot.
Or Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck.
Well, but even if there was Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck, the last number is 240, well, you're right, if. Wow. They spelled my name wrong too.
And they
They had my driver's license
They
in
did
front of them. How
George's
could-
too, but I don't think it's that big a deal.
Okay, so that one's on the line, and that's kinda, so that could be where our problem lies. If they all of a sudden got one on the line, and then they skipped a whole, see that, how that kinda crossed down into the next line? That's all good.
Well, reading this time.
I missed that one.
Okay, so, I guess that's irrelevant. We don't really care if they're absentee or not, because they should be still counted in the total number. They come up with
Right,
248 lines, I mean,
So can we compare that book to this book?
again,
That's the purpose of the numbers, so they can tell you exactly what line each of
So
them
you
are
can
on.
just verify a number and it should,
Correct.
technically speaking, it would take a few minutes to do, but, you know, it's all alphabetized, so if that starts with a W, we just look for number one. If that's the case, then we count that as a good one and go on with the, you know.
Well, I came up with two, how much was it supposed to be?
248.
No, I didn't get that, but I
May
counted
have
really
everything.
fast too.
She's counting that. You wanna work on comparing these two? So, start with W. And we'll just look for all the individual numbers. Is there a one? Yes.
Yep.
Under S, is there a two? Clear back an S.
Actually, if while she's on W, what you could do is, you know all the numbers.
Oh, yeah,
She knows all the
that's true.
numbers. They're right there.
That's a good idea.
oh.
Okay, so let's start at the very back page. I assume, I'll be darned, look at that, there are two of them on the back page.
62, 63.
Okay, so 62, 63, and they both start with Z.
Yep.
I'm gonna put little tick marks next to the numbers.
Okay, so
Nothing.
we don't have nothing. Okay, 69,
That's a W,
yeah. 198, 199.
WW.
118,
Yep.
103 is a W,
103 is not a W.
right in here is where the line is different.
Okay, so now this explains possibly what happened here.
So let's look at 102.
That one,
Okay, see, this one is 103.
and that's not correct.
No.
That she is actually number 102 here, but it says 103 there. So I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna put a
Yeah,
dot next to
46.
that for right now.
Everybody was talking, so I got screwed up.
Okay, so.
Okay, so now
You
go
put those
to
in files
H.
for-
Just leave it right there at that 103.
You came up with two more.
Mm-hmm.
Is there,
What number?
is there a 102, 103? That would be.
103, right here.
Okay, so now you have two 103s. Go back to your W. No,
Yep, straight here.
that says 103 right there.
Right, yep,
Okay, so go back to W.
yep.
That says
two
103, and that is incorrect. So now, this one is a legitimate 103. That one should say 102.
Okay.
So we're gonna go 102, right there. Okay, now, I guess that's the way it goes, but now we officially have proven that this is a legitimate number.
Yep,
Okay, let's go back to W's again.
all right, so
Oh,
58.
we started with 118, we went to 102, 58. 58, that's a W.
Yeah. 209 is a W.
209 is a B. Okay, so let's go to the B's. Let's just keep our, I'm gonna put this pen in there
Okay.
for the B's. I'm under the impression that that's gonna say 209. Yeah, it'll be on that page.
Yep.
Look at that, there are two 209s. This one is a legitimate 209, so now go back to your W's. I'm assuming that's JW, that's the 209, yes, it is. It is actually 210. So put 210 there, okay? All right, well, at
Okay,
least,
let's keep- all right, so now 47 is a W.
77, and I have 67.
that's a W.
So that's right.
Okay, 163 is a W. Yep,
Yes, it is.
162 is a W.
So we're
Yes,
good.
it is.
1 is a W.
Wow.
Count
Did
those.
your
Yes,
buckles
it
on,
is.
not right?
73 is a W.
And they were all buckles
And
votes?
72 are both Ws.
73 and 72 are both Ws.
Yeah, 149 is a W.
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to Bs. 74 is a
There you
V.
That is
Right,
correct.
144?
123 is a V.
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to Ts. 197 is a
So
T.
you guys are getting the right numbers,
Mhm.
104 and 144.
That's correct.
The ballots are right.
Well, if you
yeah.
got the right number of ballots, then
217
what's
is a
the
T.
discrepancy?
Because it
We're
doesn't match
missing,
that.
it doesn't match the book.
217 is a T.
Yep,
Yep.
So you got 248 and they're
49 is a
only
T.
247, is that right?
I mean, it's one vote, it wouldn't,
Is a T.
it wouldn't change the outcome.
Yeah.
50 is a T.
Yep, 50 is a T.
These are so much
53 is
bigger.
a T.
3 is a
I
T.
wanted a way to differentiate
230 is a
S
T.
and Ts.
And 231.
30 and 231, yes they are.
All right, 42 is an S.
Yes,
43 is an S.
yes.
156 is an S.
Yes.
121 is an S.
Yes.
216 is an S.
Wow.
Can we put those back?
Let me look at that name.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow. Okay, yeah, it is. It's an S.
And then 241 is an S too.
Yes.
Okay, 205 is an S.
Yes.
193 is an S.
Yes.
171 is an S.
Yes.
150 is an S.
Yes.
7 is an S.
Yes.
6 is an S.
Yes.
18 is an S.
Yes.
180 is an S.
Yes.
126 is an S.
Yes.
55 is an S. And 54 is an S.
Yes and yes.
And 208 is an S.
Yes.
2 is an S.
Yes.
77 is an S. And 234 is an S.
77 is and 234 is.
Yep. 212 is an S.
Yes.
66 is an S.
Yes.
104 is an S.
Yes.
17 is an S.
Yes.
60 is an S.
Wow. Yes.
59 is an S.
Yes.
219 is an S. And 239 is an S.
219 is and 239 is, yes.
93 and 94 are R's.
And 3 and 4 are both R's.
52 is an R.
Yes.
179 is an R.
Yes.
155 is an R.
Yes.
And 120 is an R.
Yes.
182 and 183 are an R.
2 and 83, yes.
131 is an R.
Yes.
124 is an R.
Yes.
And
I didn't see that
125
was
is
your
an R.
copy.
Yes.
We sorted January
157 and 158
2nd.
are Qs.
Yes, they are.
I'm done with 29th.
178 is a P.
78 is a P, yes.
Let's study.
132 is a P.
Yes.
And 109 is a P.
Yes.
117 is a P.
Yes.
21 and 22 are a P.
Yes and yes.
129 is a P.
Yes.
And 9 is a P.
Yes.
184 and 185 are a P.
Yes and yes. 184, 185.
133 is an O.
33, yes.
147 is an O.
Yes.
175 is an O.
Yes.
And 159 is an O.
Yes.
146 is an N.
Yes.
188 is an N.
Yes.
And then 138 and 139 are an N.
38 and 39 are both N's.
115 is an N.
correct.
and 30 is an N.
Wow, you jump around a lot, and yes, it is correct.
187 is an N,
That's correct.
and 38 is an N, and 61.
38 is, 61 is, and both of them are ends.
Yep. Now we're going to M's. 160,
Correct.
51.
M.
Spell M's. 134,
134, yes, it's an M.
and then 206 is an M.
That's correct.
237 is an M.
Correct.
Okay, still in the M's. 167, 168 are an M.
167 and 168, yes, they both are M's.
235 is an M.
Yes, that's an M.
And 81 is an M.
That's an M.
110 is an M.
Yes.
207 is an M.
Yes.
181 is an M.
Yes.
57 is an M.
Yes.
And 192.
Oh, yes.
Now we're going to L's. 79 is an L.
Yeah, well, let me look at that name. How's it spelled?
L-I-K.
Well, okay, yeah, I guess.
Derek, he's
that's-
real.
How it's spelled, I mean, I
213
couldn't read it.
213 is an L.
213, yes,
And 186 is an L.
yes,
Okay, now we're going still in L's. 243 is an L.
yes,
144 and 145 is an L.
yes, and
Yep,
yes.
Yep. 130 is an L.
Yes,
8 is an L.
yes,
10 is an L.
yes,
78 is an L.
yes,
4 is an L.
yes,
141 is an L.
yes,
4, oh, what, we did that one, 3.
yes, 3 is, yeah,
And now we're going to K's. 85 is a K.
85 is a K.
196 is a K.
K,
88 and 89 is a K.
88 is a K, 89 is a K,
20 is a K.
yes,
19 is a K.
yes,
64 is a K.
yes.
Did you count two?
229.
Did I what?
229?
Yep.
I did, but
Yes,
everybody was talking, so I was just trying to cut it down.
Okay, now we're going to J's.
good.
174.
Two discrepancies.
174,
Twice, and I counted once, so I
J.
got 247.
But didn't we have something that was the same number?
Twice. 215
That's what I was thinking.
is a J.
215.
If there were two, then that makes it
215 is a J.
But two of them.
31
Two
is a J.
Yes,
249, two discrepancies.
248 is a J.
Right?
oh, last one, 248, that is correct.
83 is a J, and 84.
Now we're at two. One more than
83
we-
and 84, both
Yeah.
J's.
28 is a J.
28 is a J,
112 is a J.
yes,
And 15 is a J.
yes,
Still on J's. 67 is a J.
Yes.
29 is a J.
Yes.
41 is a J.
50% turn.
Yes.
161 is a J.
Pretty good.
Yes.
That's really good,
48
I'm surprised.
is a J.
yeah.
Yes.
516 registered voters.
36 is a J.
Yes.
And 34 is a J.
Yes.
176 is a J.
Yes.
80 is a J.
Yes.
And 37 is a J.
Yes.
106. J, yeah.
J.
And 223.
Yes.
And now we're going to H's. 119.
Yes, H.
98.
Yes, H.
221.
221 H.
103.
103 H.
222. And 244.
222 is an H, and what was the last one?
244.
244, yes, that is an H.
Okay, we're still on H's. 166.
H.
11.
H.
45.
H.
27.
H.
240.
H.
140.
H.
238.
3 H.
26. H.
Yep.
40. H.
H.
108. H.
H.
225 and 226. H.
225, 226, both H's.
44. H.
44 is an H.
We're still on H's. 151.
151 H.
152.
H.
218.
H.
116.
116. H.
190. H.
190 H.
70 and 71 are H.
70 and 71 are both H.
And 189 is H.
189 is H.
No, we're still H's. 56.
56 H.
37.
37 is an H.
90.
90 H.
5.
5 H.
46.
46 H.
172.
172 H.
Now we're going to
That's his name,
G's.
right? Why didn't they
G's.
spell him
68.
68 G.
194. G. And,
194 G.
and 204 G.
204 G.
And 16 G.
16 G.
32 and 33.
G.
173.
G.
136.
That's an F.
F, yep. Now, these are all Fs. 142.
2 F.
And 86 and 87 are F.
86, 87 are F.
Now we're going to E's. 220.
Getting close here now, 220 E.
191 E.
Yep, E,
And 177 E.
E,
164 E.
E.
And 13.
Right, there's 12. And there's supposed to be 11.
13 is
I
E.
think so.
Oh, that's the
That's the
applications.
applications.
Yes, but you will have 12 of those because one came late.
Right.
And I count.
Oh, that's you.
One,
Yeah.
two,
The-
How can that not be marked off already?
The one application would be for
It
grading.
should be under ours, right?
That's living.
Yes.
It's not in here.
I'll be darned. Well, that explains
That's
where the
right there.
problem lies, right there.
We're doing that.
Okay, so just hang on, let's mark that just right there. And I'm gonna
Certain.
put a dash way out here like this. Okay, so you accidentally ran across it.
Well, I just was seeing that.
Let's
and I
just
thought-
keep going as long as we're already
Okay, we're on
almost to the.
E's, right? 13,
Yeah.
okay, now 39.
E. 39 E, that's
This is
it.
D now.
Oops, D, yep, you're right.
91 D and 92 D.
91 and 92 are both D.
65 is D.
247.
65 is, yeah, D,
76 is D,
yes,
and 95 is D.
yes.
Okay, we're still in D's. 232 and 233.
232 and 233 are both D.
75 is D,
Yep.
and 105 is D.
Yes.
25 and 24 are D's.
Yes, 24 and 25 are both D's.
242 D.
Yes.
All right, now going to C.
Okay.
99.
C,
200 is C.
yes.
And we're still C's. 114
Yes.
and 224.
Yes.
Okay, now still C. 35,
Yes.
96 and 97.
96 and 7 are both C's.
111,
Do you want these? I read.
Yes, C.
246, and 245.
246 and 245 are both C's.
Okay. And 247 is a C,
And 247 is a C.
and 107.
And 107 is a C.
Okay, 82 is a B,
82 is a B.
143 is a B,
B.
and 170 is a B,
B.
and 202 is a B.
Oops. 202 is a B.
Okay, 169 is a B,
Yes.
and 236 is a B.
Yes.
214 is a B,
Yes.
and 127, 128 is a B.
7, 128, both of those are B's.
Still B's. 153, 154.
Both of those are B's. 153, 154.
148 is a B,
48 B.
195 is a B,
195, B.
209 is a B, 165 is a B,
B.
201 is a B.
201, yes, B.
Okay, now we're going to A's. 101,
A.
and 23.
A.
Okay, these are all A's too. 113,
113, you said A,
Mhm.
that is correct.
100 is A,
100 is A.
135 is A,
That's a J. So can you look at, leave that, well, that's your very first page, right?
Yep.
So go back to your J's.
and what was the other number?
It was 135. Is there a 135 on that page? Should be on that page.
Oh,
Wait, no, it would be one page back. Whoa, now how is this possible? Hold on here. 135 is right here.
let's see,
Why would
no,
that-
that's not it, 135.
It should be in here. I don't even see that name listed in the book. It says Dolores Johnson here.
Her name is Dee.
Yeah, but the last name's not right.
Well, yeah, when,
But it's Anderson, see?
right, Dolores Anderson. But they wrote Dolores Johnson here.
And the number is right, but the last name is
I don't know how that's possible.
not. I'll circle it.
Okay, well, I'll circle that too, but
Probably knew her maiden name.
it could be, I don't know.
12,
Could be.
12 is an A.
A, 228,
228 is an A.
A, and 227 is an A.
Yep.
And then 122 is an A,
Correct?
and 211 is an A,
Is an A.
and that's it.
And that doesn't explain why. Where did I just see that? 203 right here. Can you look up your Ks for me, please?
Oh, maybe I missed that page.
Well, that could be.
203. Might have
Okay, well,
scratched
that,
only one of
at
them.
least there is a
Yeah,
legitimate.
that's right.
Okay, so, now, just for the sake of argument, every one of these got a little blue tick mark next to it. We should be golden. Except for that one that's got a circle around it because it's spelled a completely different last name. I still don't understand how that's possible. Every single one of them's got a tick mark around it, except for number 14,
Me.
who happens to be Darla Reppy.
It's in this book, but not in this book.
Oh, but not in that
It's
book.
not on this list right here.
So that'd be the vote, that the one
That's the
vote.
vote, that's the difference.
That's their, now you know where we're off then.
You put that on there, right?
Yeah, I put that on there.
Yeah, and I
Yep.
put that on there, so. Well, that would explain why
We're
instead
off
of
one.
248, we got 247,
Yep.
because there's only 247. So, worst case scenario, it would be 143 to 104.
So it wouldn't matter.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered, but it's definitely not 100% accurate, so.
And the important thing is that the ballot total, the ballot,
Yeah.
the number of ballots
and they-
tally.
Yep.
So,
Okay, so you guys are good with the 147?
Yep,
then?
yep. Yep.
Okay.
247 instead of 248.
so for the official canvassing of the votes then, I will have someone fill in, that the number of votes received for Mike Buckles was 104, which you affirmed. And for Mayor Tom Glass was, 144. And put those totals here and then sign.
Here, you counted them. And then,
We'll do 143 to 104.
Well,
No.
Her vote still counts.
yeah,
we have to
she
go by
actually did
these. We have to
vote,
go by
Okay.
these.
but
We-
it just
Yeah,
wasn't
It didn't
marked
get in
in the
there.
book. Exactly.
All right, but it did get in the other book?
Yeah, it's in the one book.
Okay,
Yep.
Yeah,
all right, cool.
because you counted
And
the
those
actual
match.
stacks.
Yeah, the actual
Yep.
stacks.
Okay, well, that explains why it was one off anyway. Use a drink. So, Pat, would we put all of this back inside the box?
After tonight, it does not matter.
Okay.
Does Dan need to sign that too?
Yeah, Dan does.
Yep. Okay.
You can if you would like.
I'll leave it just stacked here. And you want this document?
Yes, please. And then an official motion will have to be made.
Now, now we need a motion to certify the vote count for the mayoral position and declare the winner.
I'll make a motion to certify the vote count for the mayoral position and declare the winner as Tom Glass.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, guys. Street update.
Okay, everybody got that thing, right? Okay. So basically this came about, I put a little thing on Facebook kinda explaining what we were gonna do for a process of fixing streets, this coming year. And, a local person that lives around, not in town, but outside of town, works for this Loiza and construction out of Flandreau. So he gave me his boss's number, and I figured it wouldn't hurt to talk to him. I assumed that it was super expensive to bring a huge crew in and do all this, for us. And basically I found out that if they came in, these guys have been doing this for a long time, and they have the equipment, they got GPS, they'll come in and they can knock out 6 blocks a day, he said. They'll have them ground, reshaped, packed, ready to drive on.
The entire street,
A whole
curb to
block,
curb.
a whole block, curb to curb. So basically, he explained to me that he doesn't have anything against what we were gonna do, except for they weren't really intended to do that. They were intended to cut trenches basically, so you can just dig up the street and not have all this jagged stuff. But he said our problem we're gonna see is our depth control. And what's gonna happen is we're gonna get into the clay layers underneath and bring too much clay up. And then we're not gonna get our compaction and keep our compaction. Because we all know clay just stops up water and turns to slime. A little clay's fine, but we wouldn't really be in total control of that like they can with their machine. I don't know if any of you researched that machine, but it's basically bigger than a normal dirt scraper that you'll see around here, a 4-wheel big thing. And I think that runs on GPS too, so that thing's constantly telling it how deep to go for whatever, but anyways, I mean, I don't have a problem trying it on our own. I just can't make a guarantee like they can. And these are very approximate prices that I put on here for what it's gonna cost us to run this stuff.
Right.
My biggest worry is in 1 week, the amount that we were thinking of doing on our own, which is 4 to 6 complete blocks, and then jump around and do little spots. My worry is getting enough help consistently. You know, I can go straight through, but I need an extra guy, and then Dale's got his own stuff going on that he can't just ignore. And I'd need Dale on that road grader, because he knows what he's doing.
Well, okay, just refresh my memory, Lonnie, you just said we were originally thinking that we would hopefully get 4 blocks done?
4 complete blocks.
Okay, so,
And then spots.
okay, so let's just take those spots together and say, just, if we were lucky, that would be equal to 2 blocks, so 6 blocks.
I would say our spots would probably get closer to 10 blocks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that'd be 14 blocks.
And that would all have to be double chip sealed. And then that would leave us, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but that would leave some funds left to just chip seal other roads when it kind of doesn't really make sense to just chip seal a road when we know it's going to break apart, because we're basically band-aiding those. But if we were to actually grind 15 blocks, double chip seal them, we pretty much have a newish road. I mean, it's not concrete, it's not
Right.
an asphalt mat, but it'll be re-ground, it'll be,
One contiguous
yeah.
road bed.
Yes, and to be honest, it's not gonna be start on 2nd Street on Dakota and go all the way to the end. It'll maybe go like, we'll say for instance, 2 blocks north, and then a block this way, and then 2 blocks north, kinda like
Right.
that.
Depending upon the
Picking
worst roads.
The 15. 15 is kind of the number I'm looking at, because that allows us to fog seal. That gives us an extra layer of protection. It'll help bond our base layer to our chip seal better also. So 15 kind of works the number out, and with 15, that in double chip sealing all 15 of those blocks, we basically only add 3,000 square yards of chip sealing onto the 20,000 they're already coming to do. So,
Okay, so this is 10,000 from last year and 10,000 from this year we're gonna do.
last year was gonna be 20,000
Okay.
alone.
Did you ask him about if he could spread it over the apron?
I'm gonna guarantee he's gonna tell us
Yeah.
don't do it. We're gonna have to come up with something.
It'll be
on our
too
own.
thin, I think.
He'll tell us don't even try it, so.
Okay.
He asked me if we were gonna put new curb and gutter before he got here. I said no, so his price is $770 a block to 1,000 a block, depending on basically curb and gutter. No curb and gutter, $770 flat. He said that's easy. Like, we have 1 block over here we're gonna do on Union, the first block. That whole thing will be done. Other than that, most everything else is gonna have curb and gutter. And then, you know, your width's gonna change that price. But he said $1,000 max a block, so.
So when I took his 16 blocks at full price, it'd be 18.5, that comes out to almost 1,160 bucks a block.
2,500 of that is mobilization.
Okay, understood.
I should have put
That's
that in
getting
there.
the equipment here.
Yep.
Gotcha.
and he said that could be cheaper depending on
Oh, of course.
how close they are. Centerville's doing 20 blocks this year. They did, can't remember exactly how much he said, 6 blocks maybe last year, just to try it out, see if they liked it. And then they called them and hired them back for another 20 blocks, and they're gonna.
So have you talked to
keep doing-
anybody from Centerville to see?
I haven't had time to call anybody, so. I kinda assumed if they're bringing them back to do 20 more blocks, that,
They must be
It must.
pleased with the first one.
yeah. Right, so, in Lesterville's gonna do a bunch, their roads are all heaved way worse than us. And, like, they have roads shut down in Lesterville.
Well, even 18,500, although it's a lot of money, compared to the $3 or $4 million that they just put into the city streets in Emory, and the amount of money that it's costing every single taxpayer, $1 a foot on the front of their property is nothing
Yeah,
for a while,
yeah,
compared to what it costs.
yeah.
So what does our curb tax bring in
About 36,000.
a year? So we really have $72,000 to deal with.
Yep, and that 15 blocks is based off of 72,000.
Did he give you a time when he could
That's,
do this?
that's the, they need it to dry up more. The ground is still wet under the asphalt, so, if I get the go-ahead, I'm gonna have to get a hold of them and see when they can be here, cause timing might not even work with our chip sealing schedule unless the road guys could back off, you know, a little bit, but.
And you got that email today from the road guys?
I haven't opened that, I did,
Oh,
Sam
okay.
showed that to me though, so, and that 15 blocks is counting in, fog sealing. So,
And they said they would be here sometime between June 15th and August 1st. They could not commit to July 15th.
okay,
That's a long.
we just can't,
45-day
if they come in and grind this, we can't, even if it's fog sealed, we can't let it sit more than 6 weeks. So. at
We gotta
the-
coordinate it pretty tight with the road, with the,
If we were to bring the Ys in, we'd probably hope for middle of June. Cause that would give us our 6 weeks to the August 1st.
Yeah. Well, if they do 6 blocks a day, and they're gonna do 16 blocks,
3 days of work, at least. Probably 3 days of work.
Yeah, I'd say 3.
so, yeah. Anywhere around that 15th of June, if they could do it, then it would at least would hold the fog seal until the road guys got here.
Right, and ideally it would be, I mean, we could fog seal anyways, cause it is a good practice, a lot of people do that with a new chip seal, cause it's gonna be brand new chip seal, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, how many square foot or square yards are there in a road, in a street?
About 816, I think.
816.
Yeah, 350 feet by 21 feet on a normal. And then that's feet, and then divide that by 9, I think it's 816, somewhere in there.
Be 91.
What's that?
91 square yards.
91 square yards. 816,
Oh, no.
oh, that's square yards.
816 square yards,
Okay,
yes.
so it's gonna cost $815 to $25 per street to fog seal it after they get
Yeah.
the.
But if the road guys were knocking on the door January, mid-June to end of June, we could skip the fog sealing. But we'd be, and it isn't, it's not like the world's over if they don't get here. I mean, it just means we have to go back out, re-wet the whole surface, like flood it and pack it and grade it. So it would cost us probably just about the same, just if we took a chance and then they didn't show up and we had to redo that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be better off with the fog seal in the long run anyway, so.
Do you have the equipment to wet it and pack it yourself?
Wet it, yeah, well, that's part of that. We have the
Option
tank,
one.
we have the tank, but I'm gonna have to build a setup for that. 'Cause it's not like the fairgrounds where just let it gravity feed out and, you know, soak it. I need a consistent, you know, water going down evenly, so.
Yeah. Some kind of a distributor.
Yeah, it's gotta be on, it's gotta be on a pump and nozzles,
Yeah.
so. I have the nozzles, but from a previous project.
Well, the reclamation and the fogging is gonna be about $31,000. 31,540.
Yeah.
Did you base that off 15 or 16 blocks?
I did it on 16, that's what's on the sheet here.
Yeah, 15 will keep us actually short of 72,000 and give us a little bit of
So then the double chip sealing is the other 30,000 or
the
40,000.
other 40, yeah.
So, and the reason we got 70,000 is we've got 2 years of that dollar.
Right.
Yeah,
So now, every year, in theory, then, we could do 7 blocks of this. And people need to be aware of that. People need to be aware of the fact that you're not gonna get the entire city done for
Right.
$1 of your tax money per foot.
Right.
People, I've heard, I don't know how many people complain about the fact, where's the dollar going? What do you mean, where's it going? It isn't going anywhere. It's sitting there waiting because we couldn't do anything because of the weather. So it's not gone.
Right.
I don't know.
Our streets are one of our #1 priorities. We absolutely have to do something with it. And looking at this looks like a very good option to me.
I agree with it, and, I mean, nothing against your ability or anything, but I think you were right in saying, I mean, they're gonna get the right depth. They've done this, how many times? Hire a professional, chances are, well, first of all, they're bonded.
Yeah.
If they screw something up,
They actually inject water as they're grinding, so there's not dust. You get a good mix, whereas we would drop water on top, and then we could regrind it all to get it ground in evenly, but they deal with us all the time and know how much to put in, so.
Lonnie, are there any other companies that do something similar to this?
Suck Up, and I'm gonna call them before I call
Where are they out of?
Sioux Falls. Suck Up, I talked to one of their guys at a class, or a conference out in Chamberlain last year, I think it was. And they were breaking this process up, but they're using, they like to use Portland cement involved in this too. And they can make wet, sloppy clay hard by the end of the day if they want their process. But they're big in with the construction companies in Sioux Falls doing these, you know, Sioux Falls is kind of built on a swamp on the south side, so. But they do deal with municipalities, so before I call the Weiselback, I will call Suck Up and see what, maybe their schedule's a little more open to also, so.
So if we decide to do this, do we need to bid it out?
I don't think we do, but I wanna check to be sure. How confident are you that they're not gonna show up and go, oh my gosh, we need to triple the size of this project, are they?
No,
The other
think
thing,
so.
the other
I
thing
mean,
that I'm just thinking about, more from a making sure we do everything right perspective is, assuming we have to bid or not bid this and we wanna do it, we have to figure out how that works in conjunction with the contract with, the road guy.
Right.
Because when we did that whole fix the other day, or the other day, a couple months ago, but to agree to modify it, we gotta just see if he does need to move it, if he's okay doing that.
well, he gave you a wide enough window. I mean, what we really need to do is we need to verify that whoever it is that wins the bid, if there's a bid, are willing to conform to, we'll have it done by such and such a date, which falls within that however many weeks prior to that window. I mean, as long as that's the case, it should be okay with the road guys.
Yeah, and I don't know what like Lonnie does, but I am at this point more concerned about the road guy than I am about one of these dudes. Is that kind of your read of it too?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I just,
Yeah, cause I don't know, Louisa might say, yeah, we can be there June 1st. Well, now that road guys
a little early.
said August 1st at the latest,
Yeah.
it's like, well, that's 2 weeks of, I don't know, you know. And maybe, Louisa did say this to me, though. He said, we could probably go 2 to 3 weeks without fogging it. So, in all actuality, I'm thinking 2 to 3 weeks, well, if we could get them at least come fog it the middle of June, that would get us to 6 weeks of a fog street.
All right.
So, I don't know how open the road guys are on just coming to fog. I mean, it's not a big process. They show up and they spray with their truck and
They're gone.
they're gone. So it's not like they got this huge crew to move in, so.
Isn't this kind of big enough, both of these? The 13,000 for fogging and the 18,500 for the full depth reclamation, are those big enough to need a bid?
Require bids?
well, and that's what I need to find out for you, and I should be able to do it by the end of the week, but they're really two separate things.
Yeah.
And part of it, it's a three-part problem, kind of. One, can we do this without a bid? Two, does the road guy, is him telling us he needs a bigger window, is that him modifying the contract? And do we wanna let him do that? And three, we've got the chip sealing thing done, but now if we wanna add this fog sealing, is that us modifying the contract? And I looked at this before, but there are some rules about if you tweak the contract too much, you gotta send it out for rebid. But I don't think this full depth reclamation could in any way be considered part of the same project because it's a completely different deal.
It's a road prep prior to
Yeah,
chip sealing.
the chip sealing was gonna be done and is gonna be done anyway. This is just doing a new bed, and I don't think the road guy can even do this, can he?
No.
So, I think it's they're both fruit, but one's an apple, one's an orange, so.
All right.
But
So you'll know by the end of the week.
Yeah, I think I can even get it done tomorrow, Dave.
That'd be awesome, cause
Yeah.
if they approve this, I would like to get on their schedule.
Place in-
One of those two guys.
Place in Sioux Falls, I guess, how did you spell it? Is it S-O-U-K-U-P?
Yes.
Sukup?
They're the only two I didn't even know Louisa did it until recently, cause if you look this up in the phone book, it doesn't give you anybody, except Sukup or Sukup.
Yeah.
So,
So could rain and wet screw all this up again?
potentially, it's gonna screw up, chip sealing way more. But the product we use for chip sealing actually should require a damp surface before you lay it, so. Obviously, if it's downpouring, but as soon as it dries up, then it can go.
Then they go.
Yeah.
It is interesting to hear about this other company and the fact that they use Portland cement, because to me, that eliminates, I mean, you've got a lot more stationary base to work with after all is said and done.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, it's gotta be more expensive.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it has to be more
It is.
expensive.
Isn't that part of CRS?
What's that?
Isn't that part of CRS too?
Who?
The elements of the chip seal.
When you're talking about CRS, I guess I'm not following you.
Okay, so it's a process.
I think that, think it'd be great to find out about this other company, but again, as you mentioned, we could be talking about two completely different processes, one of which is, I mean, it's like getting a cement base versus an asphalt base. Well, that's different. And because of the fact that it's so markedly different, it's kind of difficult to quantitatively, base
Yeah.
our judgment on.
I'm unfamiliar with even knowing if Suck Up will grind asphalt. They may only mess with a clay base and redo that for you, I don't know.
Oh, so it'd be almost like a new development. You've got a
Yes.
road bed
That's,
that's sitting here, they'll come out and they'll put in the,
and that's what they were pushing at that conference was.
okay, so it'd be a good idea to get from them, exactly what do you do and how do you do it? And would you do something similar to what we're talking about?
Mhm.
Okay,
Need more information.
So we can't do anything now.
I agree.
First meeting in May,
yeah.
Good plan.
Is that soon enough?
probably
Is
not.
it?
Probably not. I don't know. The guy, Louisa has 107 miles now to do this summer. They can do a mile a day. So that's 107 days that are taken up already.
So how soon do you need us to get an answer to you? Tomorrow? Sam said tomorrow.
Ideally, yes, but,
If we,
Well, Sam, will you have this, do you think, by the end of the week?
I will, I can have an answer, I can have an opinion to you by tomorrow night or Wednesday morning.
Is Friday's Good Friday. Is Friday a good day for almost everybody? To
Well,
have
the
something
thing is
going on?
If Lonnie talks to that company, and Sam can give us a thing, maybe the very first part of next week, we can get together real short and decide on this and get it over.
Is that soon
Is that
enough?
possible?
I don't know.
Do we
I
want
mean,
to?
that'd be a week from now.
I mean, you're kinda asking the wrong guy, cause I don't know.
Depends on him.
I mean, yeah,
So Thursday or Friday if we have
Well,
a
and
meeting?
the only reason I
Well, if
said
we
Friday
can
is
get it
that
by
that's
then,
Good Friday and
If we can
everybody,
get our information by then, we can do it Friday.
a lot of people are off Friday.
Yeah, I don't have class Friday.
So that's why I suggested Friday.
Just to have a real quick, it wouldn't take long, I don't
It
think.
shouldn't.
If we do that, I'd prefer to have the meeting in the morning.
In the morning.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me what time we have it.
It's fine.
Oh, well, I'm not
Is
gonna.
Thursday night pushing it?
I don't
Well,
know if we
Thursday
have
night-
Sam.
Okay, it depends. Well, Thursday night's Monday, Thursday,
Yes.
there's services.
Yes.
Friday, there may be services,
There.
but we've got a better chance of hitting, I don't know, it's Holy Week, I don't know how to call it. I just thought Friday because it's a day off for a lot of people.
Okay, so if we would do it Friday, would it be best to do it like Friday in the morning, Friday at noon?
What time
what
morning
works
are
out for everybody?
are you talking about? What time morning?
5 a.m.
How about 10-ish or something?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I
I
can't
can-
remember what I have Friday.
Yeah.
7:30?
Well, I could make before work better for me, but that doesn't, I don't know. That would work for everybody else.
I'm up at 5, so I don't
Let me know.
I don't work Friday, but I got cardiac rehab, and I rescheduled that early in the morning because Friday's a day off, so.
So you've already got something.
I don't know, I can't even remember
Well,
what
we
time
only
it
need
is
4
now.
people.
Yeah, you don't need me, I mean,
Well,
I
Or-
can't Friday morning.
you can't Friday
I
morning.
work Friday.
can't guarantee Lance can make it because he's not here to speak for it.
How soon can this guy, assuming everything is fine and we don't need to go to the bid process, does he have a standard contract? Like, does he have a,
I'm assuming he does, probably.
could you find that out for me tomorrow?
What about Wednesday night?
Well,
Yeah.
depends when we get the answer. We have to give 24 hours notice if we're having a meeting, so.
Right, but if we put the notice in that we're having a meeting Wednesday night, if the 5 of us could be there Wednesday night, we can guarantee we could have a meeting, and all we gotta do is make sure we got all the information, or else we're gonna postpone it again, in which case, that's the way it happens.
Is that too fast?
I gotta do, Wednesday night, you say, you need 24 hours
I'm
advance?
just wondering. Well, we already would have 24 hours if we posted it
If we posted it
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
and we said we're having a meeting Wednesday night, that covers it. All we need is the information by Wednesday.
I would prefer Thursday or Friday if you can,
Okay.
I mean, I get
I understand.
time is of the essence, and I'm trying to be cognizant of Lonnie's time. What I don't wanna do is go, here's what I think it is, and then we're down a rabbit hole and we go, oops.
Yeah, I
That was
understand.
an expensive oversight.
So Friday morning, 7:30, and then if Lance can't make it, we'll have to reschedule.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, did anybody say they had a problem with Thursday evening, was that?
Well, I didn't say I have a problem with it, but I said some people might. I mean,
I can make home from
I
work.
have missed a
What?
church
What time do
service
you get home from
before.
work?
Well, yeah, tax season's over, I can get off at 4.
I probably won't be back into town till 5.
Are we back to Thursday?
Thursday evening then?
Thursday work better.
I could probably be back by 5.
Thursday?
I'm the only one there this week, so that's why
Whatever.
I'm
Maybe
ready
out
to
of class at noon.
I've got something every other night of the week, but
I'll just call them reschedule. Cardiac rehab. What time did you say, 7:30, Friday?
Well, if Lance
No,
can come, then
If
we've
the
got
3 of you are here and I'm here, that's 4.
how about if we do Thursday, does that work better for you, Thursday?
Yeah, that would work better,
Well,
Thursday.
Five.
If we can get Lance to come, then.
at 5,
If you're not
and
there.
you can make it
Yeah, that's
back.
true.
by-
Oh, but I'll
Then
just
you
be
wouldn't
there,
have to be.
I'll just be there Thursday night. I'll just,
Then you don't have to change anything.
Yeah, say 5.
Thursday night would work for you too?
Okay,
We
what
can
can I
have,
put
we could have a
in?
whole,
5 or
full
so.
complement Thursday night.
We have church, but it's at 6 something, 6:30.
So 5:30?
Say 5.
5 o'clock Thursday, does that work?
If you've gotta go through the bid process, you'll know before Thursday.
Then we can cancel. I make a motion, we hold a special meeting Thursday, April what,
18.
Yep.
18th, 5:00 PM in this room.
I'll second.
4/18 at 5. Okay. We have that motion. Do we need to,
I'll second.
okay, we got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Southeastern Electric mowing. We got a thing in there about, they're wanting us to do the mowing for them.
And so basically, all we got right here is just a thing that says this is how much we're saying that it's gonna cost them.
Right.
No, this is how much we're saying it's costing us.
Oh, it's gonna cost us $15.91 to have somebody go over there and mow per hour.
Correct,
And what we're saying is, how much are we gonna charge them?
correct.
Ah,
Southeastern asked us for a bid to mow their property.
Is that something that we do?
No, well, we would use the same equipment we have in the park.
and they do mow for the HRC, and the HRC just reimburses them their time, their expense. So, I mean,
You looked into?
Yes, so Beersford sweeps Highway 46 to a point for the state, that's government to government. The short answer is you can probably do this, I would recommend that you not, for a couple reasons. You create a contractual obligation to Southeastern if you do it, and if it's not done to their satisfaction or in a timely manner or whatever, they can complain. The other thing that I think you set yourselves up to do is if Sam Nelson has grandiose plans of building a garage pursuant to the new ordinance we just passed, or are passing, and I buy a lot, and then I let it just sit and the grass gets chest high, I can come in and say, gosh, you guys mow for Southeast, I'd like you to mow for me at the same rate. And then we create problems for who we're doing those things for. Southeastern chose to buy property here, and I think they either left all, I mean, did they leave everything? Have they abandoned all the buildings here?
No,
Not use them anymore, they use some
no,
of
they're
them?
all still here.
Okay, but didn't we buy one?
We bought a lot,
We
but
bought a
it was
lot.
a vacant lot. I mean, it had a fence on it.
Okay, I mean, they're citizens of town, and I think just generally you create more problems by doing this for them if you choose to do it.
I agree.
I agree, let's just let it die. Number 7's a moot point.
Okay. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just tell them it's
Comp
not
time discussion.
No,
We decided it's not a service we wanna provide,
okay, well
or
then,
I can tell them whatever.
no, that's not a problem.
All right. Comp time discussion.
Where do we go from here?
I believe part of it needs to be executive session. Do we need to start there and then?
We could, I wanna know if are we talking about going forward with the new city manual, or are we talking about an employment issue with this? I don't know which is which. Last I remember, our policy manual discussion was you all were considering whether or not you wanted to do comp time, is that right?
Is this just a general comp time discussion for the manual, or is this specific to our current issue?
I think this is general, in my opinion,
She just said specific.
specific.
Well,
Depends what we're talking about.
it's one of those things that has not been resolved, so I put it back on the agenda.
Okay.
So
So,
I don't know how you want to handle it.
So
so
if we're just talking
regarding,
about policy, that's why.
so regarding number 8, that could be just a discussion, like you say, but executive session says, I mean,
If this is a personnel issue, we cannot discuss it openly.
right. But there are 3 portions of the executive session, but really there are 4 spots there. Is the first one just a motion to go into executive session?
That is correct.
Okay. So,
Yeah, we can't, A, B, C, and D, we can't take any of those actions in executive session, that's all gotta be done.
right, outside. The discussion can happen in executive session.
So the city's current policy manual says you can accumulate 16 hours of comp time, and then it gets paid out as overtime within 30 days.
And I believe when we rewrite it, we settled on 40 within 60 days, is that, am I off on that? I could be wrong.
I
don't know.
can't remember the time frame.
I think it,
I'm
I
sorry.
think I know we upped it, I'm pretty sure we upped the time frame too. I don't remember specifically what it was. But that policy's not in place yet.
Right.
So, are we thinking about keeping the policy going forward, or do we wanna scrap it and just do straight overtime?
So as much headache as this has already cost us, I would say we would be time ahead, heartache ahead, just to say, there's no such thing as comp time anymore. If you get extra hours, you're gonna get paid overtime. We just suck it up as far as the budget goes, and we learn our lesson and either put extra time in for that subsequently, or wish we had.
So we can still use a flex time system that would allow the party to take that time off within that week. strict and harder to do, but it's better than this mess.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my dad about, it's either Hartford or Canton, but one of them, I mean, that's essentially what they do. If their finance officer's covering a 3-hour, that finance officer has 40 hours a week. And if that finance officer's covering a 3-hour Monday night meeting, that finance officer's out the door Friday, 3 hours at a time, and that's what the city employee works, is 40 hours a week.
And of course, we'll need a little leeway, there might be situations where it's just not possible, and if that happens, then you have
My
to
work's
get
like that too. We just have to, if you, sometimes you are gone,
Mhm.
you just have to have permission that that's just been okayed.
And I think currently our policy does say it's supposed to go through the mayor.
Yeah,
And
it
that got
does.
lost in translation somewhere, nobody's been doing that, so do we need to keep that? If you're gonna be working overtime, if it's foreseeable that you're going to be working overtime, the mayor needs to approve it.
The thing about our situation that's different even from towns the size of Beersford is we have 2 people in our office. You know, I think Beersford has 6, something like that. I mean, so you have to think about regular, accessible city office hours during the workday when citizens can come in. I just do think that's a consideration you wanna keep in mind in terms of
Right.
if you're gonna do a flex time, Pat and Wanda are both here, and then somebody, you know, needs something on a Friday afternoon and they're flexed off, that's something you wanna consider.
So we wanna keep comp time, we wanna get rid of comp time.
Bonnie, how do you feel about comp time?
Well, I typically don't take comp, I usually take overtime, so. I mean, I can speak for Dale, I know Dale likes comp time, but that was 4 or 5 years ago when this issue came up. And at this time, I don't know what he'd say, to be honest.
Well, but if the
me-
policy was that there was no such thing as comp time and it was all overtime, he probably wouldn't sneeze at getting paid time and a half for the time that he's on here extra, so.
No. I think he's, I don't wanna speak for him, but, I mean, me personally, it doesn't bother me what you do, so.
So now you're saying that if Pat has to work overtime, then it needs to be approved by the mayor. Now what if he has to work overtime? Do I need to approve that?
It all has to
All
be
our
approved by the
employees.
mayor. So that would mean that if they already had the idea, you know, there's gonna be a problem, snow, whatever.
Well, yeah,
I mean, they would have to contact you and say, Mr. Mayor, I will end up with
yeah.
probably 6 to 8 hours overtime this week. Is that approved? It's a yes or no question, the answer is yes, bingo.
It's in the
Is that
personnel manual.
The new one?
No, the old one.
The old one.
The current one.
It always has been.
And there is a stipulation, they're like, if it's an emergency, so like if the police get called out on a 911 call,
Right.
obviously they're not gonna call you first and ask you if it's okay.
Well, what about Dale when you got the sewer plant full
Yeah,
of water?
and
Oh,
that
right,
would be another example
emergency.
where if
yeah.
it's an emergency, it cannot wait for your approval, they've gotta go. That's
So, yeah,
covered
that-
under
so
the
that-
current
yeah.
policy.
Or if
I
you're
mean, I don't
driving
mind
somewhere
them
and
calling
it's
me and
bad roads,
asking if
you
they
can't
can
go.
work overtime.
You're gonna get
If, you know, if it needs done, it needs done. And
I think it's just another little checks and balances to make sure there's another person that says, okay, I understand the reasoning behind it, and I approve that it's probably logical for there to be overtime. But it's not been done.
Well,
No,
we've had such
nobody
a
to-
problem,
Nobody to blame, but it has not been done to this point, and it should be.
we've been going over this comp time thing now for months and months and
Yeah.
still haven't really come to what the hell we're gonna do about it.
Well, I think that's what we're trying to do right now.
To me, the best thing to do, in my opinion, is to just forget comp time and go to overtime.
Eliminate it.
Eliminate that comp time stuff altogether. If they need to work overtime and they got a reason for it, fine. And get paid for it and be done with it. Then we don't have this back and the comp.
If I was
And if
gonna
we
go
are
on it
hiring-
right now, that's what I would say too.
If we do end up hiring someone to do some of those other tasks, that should eliminate most of the overtime problem,
Well, some
Sure
of it.
should.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
depending on what this new person can do.
yeah.
Okay,
I agree, let's get rid of it.
I do
I
too.
mean, it eliminates all the heartache
Yeah.
and issues. I mean,
exactly.
One extra set of books that don't have to be kept up
yep.
But we still need to figure out,
overtime,
yeah,
but that's on the,
that's on
that's on
the,
the
yeah.
time
Okay.
clock.
Then what do we do about the comp time that's already been accumulated?
That's got to be discussed in executive session.
Yeah, we need to, yeah. But it isn't on the agenda for executive session.
Not tonight, it is not.
So we'll have to get it on there.
Well,
Well,
You'll
there,
put that on there.
there is, number 9 is,
it's personnel,
9A.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it doesn't,
but it's
Well,
you don't,
it's just a personnel.
you don't need to,
There's no bulletin point for it, but it would fall underneath
it
SPCL
would fall
1
under,
25.
okay.
if you wanna discuss how Sam Nelson falls asleep at the meeting, and you don't wanna embarrass me, you don't need to put personnel dash city
Okay.
attorney needs a cup of coffee to,
Sleeping.
yeah, personnel is broad enough to encompass this.
Okay,
So we've pretty much taken care of the discussion for comp time, not gonna,
right.
says everybody pretty much in
We're gonna
agreement that
go
we
to
don't, the new
overtime.
ordinance will do away with it,
Yeah,
okay.
is
So
that,
the new policy
The new
manual
policy
yeah,
manual.
the new policy.
manual,
will eliminate
Oh,
it.
we go to OT,
and we don't need a motion to do that.
No,
Not right now.
okay,
not until we pass the actual
Policy.
policy
policy
manual.
manual.
Yep.
okay. Now, executive session personnel, we need a motion to enter into executive personnel pursuant to SDCL 1-25-2-1.
I'll make a motion to enter into executive session for personnel.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, we're in executive session at 8:00 PM.
And the last name?
MEYER.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, any discussion?
And as far as her salary and everything, that was
Minimum wage,
already set by the board.
Yep.
that's minimum wage.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we're down to 10.
I'll make a motion to adjourn. Oh, sorry. Did
We need a motion to adjourn, you're ahead of me.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
And Darla. Okay, we have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, we are adjourned at 9:13.
I thought I would've been home at 7 o'clock.
I didn't think of this, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.
No,
Thank you.
neither of the above. But when we're trying to